The 39 seasons and 39 days franchise recap is heating up as we're on to season 8, The Inferno. Airing February to May 2004, featuring the best opening theme in show history, in my opinion. 20 contestants back in real-world road rules teams, competing in 17 episodes plus 2 specials down in Acapulco, Mexico, and with brand new host, the legend himself, Dave Mira. As far as evolutions go, the biggest was that this season saw a large portion of the cast do back-to-back seasons for the first time ever, carrying over storylines from Gauntlet right into Inferno. 7 cast members were on both of those seasons, and 6 more were vets who had played before, so 13 out of 20 had been on a season before this. For Veronica, it was her continually expanding record 5th season. Ms. Coral, Cyrus, Julie, and Holly were all doing their 3rd. The format continued to evolve too. Eliminations were here for the 2nd season in a row. Lifesavers were back, slightly different way than before, but the cadence was new. 2 dailies for every 1 elimination, and the opposing team now nominated someone from yours to go into that elimination. The Inferno itself was our first ever built for the challenge elimination arena, and it remains one of the cooler ones to this day. We had our first ever 3-time champ after this season, with Veronica getting that historic mark, and her and Darrell were the first people to have ever won back-to-back seasons, Gauntlet and now Inferno. The 20-person cast here was one of the better ones we've ever had. A lot of star power across the board in returnees. Veronica, Miz, Coral, Cyrus, Julie, Trishelle, Holly, Katie, Timmy, Shane, Abram, Darrell. I mean, give me a break. And somehow we added rookies this season, the likes of CT, Ace, Kendall. So good. The competitive story of the season was that it wasn't. Road Rules absolutely smacked Real World around. They won 11 of the 15 dailies and 6 of the 8 eliminations. In the final, was even a stacked Real World team. CT, Miz, Coral, and Cyrus remained, but they had no chance versus Road Rules. This was the 4th victory for Road Rules versus 2 for Real World in the franchise history. And maybe the best moment of the reunion was this cast talking about how the mentality of their first show, Road Rules or Real World, shone through with so much of how the cast handled being in a challenge house. The other competitive point that should be mentioned and probably belongs in Evolutions, but this season featured the first real throwing of missions and planning for who you want left in a final. Hadn't truly seen that before, but the scars from Battle of the Seasons and the Gauntlet really shone through in some folks' minds here. Lastly, on the competitive front, the eliminations this season were all sort of weird. It very much seemed to be, and clearly was, the producers ripping off Fear Factor, which was massively popular at the time of airing. But these oddball, who can stand to do it longer style eliminations did give us memorable moments like CT versus Shane and cookie eating, or Katie smoking a cigarette on a treadmill, or Kendall carrying brick after brick after brick for hours across the log. So you won't find me complaining. Everything I've said, though, has been burying the lead. The Inferno is known for one thing above all, and that is its iconic moments, because it is some of the biggest in the entire history of the franchise. We had Julie in episode 1 trying to release Veronica's harness and end her life, and the entire fallout from that. There was CT dancing in his pink bikini during a daily where they had to sell stuff at a street market to tourists. Then, of course, Katie went full volume in her absolute meltdown on teammate Veronica, the first of many great Katie moments in her career. And finally, maybe the greatest quote in reality TV history and one of my all-time favorite challenge moments, when Julie decided she wanted to wrestle Coral out on the lawn, and Coral's response was,
"She wants to wrestle you."
I don't wrestle. I beat bitches up.
What a legend. We got more from that moment in the reunion show, where we found out that Julie peed on Coral's bed later that night, trying to antagonize her. The only response she got from Coral was Coral begging CT to reenact how she thinks Julie did it, what angle she did it from. Unreal moments from these OGs. The cast is an all-timer. The moments are some of our most memorable we will ever have. The weird eliminations and lack of competition are the only thing that holds this back from being in the best season of all time discussion. It finds itself in the top of the great tier with an A- grade. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the upcoming Battle of the Eras recaps back tomorrow, covering the first ever sequel in challenge history.